let's see. There was one last thing I wanted to add, wanted to get your take on. Speaking of like getting into the weeds and the nuances and stuff, but I do find a little bit of this fascinating. Is what happens in the Finance Committee, the Joint Finance Appropriations Committee. I think this happened last Friday. There was a bit of a scuffle, a bit of an exchange, because there was the rules that they have to abide by in JFAC can change, because there's House rules and there's Senate rules, and when you get the House and the Senate together, they have to figure out what works best, and everybody has their own opinion, and so it's fascinating to watch this. But here's an exchange that happened on a vote. They were voting on a bill. Did you follow any of this, Brian? They were voting on a bill that would have reduced in appropriations for some federal. It would take away some federal money. Isn't that correct?
I believe so.
Yeah. So they were voting on a bill that was going to send money to a department, but Senator Carlson had recommended in her motion that they get rid of like $2 million that would have gone to a program, and so they went ahead and said, okay, that's the motion we're going to vote on. Let's vote for it. And here's how it went down.
Senator Groh.
Aye.
Woodward. Cook. Bierke. Hart. Carlson. Zeiderveld. Galloway. Ward Engelking. Wintrow. Representative Horman.
Aye.
Miller. Furness. Handy. Petsky. Tanner. Manwaring. Mitchell. Price. Galaviz.
Does anyone wish to change his or her vote? Hearing none, the Senate votes 6 aye, 4 nay, 0 absent or excused. The House votes 5 aye, 5 nay, 0 absent or excused, for a total of 11 ayes, 9 nays, 0 absent or excused. The majority having failed to vote in the affirmative in the House, the motion fails, and we will move on to the original motion.
Madam Chair,
Senator Cook.
admit this because it's not good, but the majority did pass this bill. 11 is the majority, so it did pass, and it should go to the House first, based on the letter on February 3rd, 2023, is my understanding.
Senator, the motion has failed. Therefore, there is nothing to send to the House.
Madam Chair, we're going to have to shut this down. We're going to follow different rules. on
Senator
different days.
Woodward?
We're going to do different rules,
The
different
committee
days.
will be at ease.
Woo!
Yeah, spicy.
Wow, I like that. That was Senator Woodward jumping in and just starting to say he's got to shut this down. What was that?
Yeah. So rule number one of any parliamentary body, whether it's a House and Senate committee or it's your local baking club, you don't interrupt the chair. You don't just speak without being recognized. And Senator Woodward seems to have forgotten that rule, and Representative Horman was reminding him.
Reminding him. Yes, she was. Okay. All right. So here's what happened, right? So this is what's fascinating. And that was about $2.6 million. So the version of that budget that was passing was going to be $2.6 million less than what the original bill was going to be. And so they were cutting $2.6 million. And the bill overall, it passed, right? It passed 11-9 or whatever it was. And one of the folks who actually voted opposite it was trying to say, we all voted for it. It was 11-9, but because the House members, there are 10 House and 10 Senate, because the House members, it failed in the House, the bill doesn't get to move forward. And that is an interesting rule that they have adopted, right?
Right. So it's these quirks that come up because it's a joint committee. Like you said, it's the Senate Finance Committee and the House Appropriations Committee. They meet together as a joint committee. And so they initially had a rule or they had not really a rule, just kind of an understanding, an unwritten rule that if something passed overall, but it failed one of the two sides, and a tie is a failure, and this one was 5-5 in the House, then it would go to that body. So this, according to that understanding, and this is what Senator Cook and Senator Woodward were trying to say, is that it should go to the House, and then the House decides what to do with it. They can take it up on the floor, or they can return it, or whatever. But according to what Representative Foreman went on to say after they came back from at ease, is that they were advised by their counsel that according to the rules, that's not actually how it should be, since the motion fails in one of the two houses, in one of the two chambers, there's not actually a bill. There's no bill to send to the House because it has not been turned into a bill because the motion has failed. And so it has to be retained in JFAC, and then they will bring it up again at a later time. In this case, a substitute motion failing, then that means they go on to the original motion. I really like how JFAC works in that they have a picture showing the motion, substitute motion, and amended substitute motion. Every committee does this. They have 3 possible motions on the floor at a time, but JFAC actually shows you in graphic form, which is, I think, very handy.
Yeah, it is. It is handy to see. And boy, I tell you, man, you know, when you watch this stuff long enough and you see all the nuances, you see all the personalities, you really sometimes have to you know, get a better sense of appreciation on what it takes to make those relationships, to have relationships in that House and Senate, and to try and get things pushed through.